Just as in 1969, Monty Python's Flying Circus taught us how not to be seen. This evening, I'll teach you how not to meditate. First error, mind blanking. Mindfulness is the first of 7 enlightenment factors. We evolve to perceive, emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. Thus, there is no need to mind blank. Our second error, we try to concentrate. We try to say, listen, I'm going to focus on this thing and everything else can fuck off. But is that what we evolved to do? No. Our sympathetic nervous system evolved to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly, and to do so during each inhalation, whether we want to or not. Our third error is self-talk, relying upon our prefrontal cortex, this bad boy right here, to wrangle the kitty cats of our mind is tantamount to striving to teach a pig to sing, for it will waste your time and annoy the pig. Only in this case it will exhaust your prefrontal cortex, which looks a lot like the symptoms of depression. And nobody wants that. Our parasympathetic nervous system, which we access during each exhalation, has evolved to both physically relax as well as mentally release. As Mr. Scott was fond of saying, "Ach, laddie, use the right tool for the right job." Of course, that was a dreadful imitation. I apologize. This raises a frightfully important question. What is the point of meditation? Or to put it another way, what is the liberation that Buddha offered? Was it freedom from the antics of mind? Or simply freedom from their tyranny? I look forward to chanting and meditating you. This evening, I look forward to chanting and meditating with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent more than 8 hours a day, every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of Buddhism so that you would not have to. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. I thought it would be fun to return to the sadhana version of the Song of Enlightenment composed by Yongjie Xuan Zhui, embraced by most meditators of China and Japan. And I still remember the first day it crossed my path. That was a morning. I think it was spring. That's how impactful it was. So let me just make this perfectly clear. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, do not hesitate. Immediately type your question as your specific question in great detail in the chat window, and I will be happy to answer it. Just don't waste your time asking if it's okay to ask a question. Ask the question. The more detail you offer, the more useful my answer will be. The more vague your question, the less useful my answer will be. We're going to begin by performing 2 chants of empathetic bodhicitta and enthusiastic refuge. These are not intended to be prayers to real or imagined entities. We are simply using words to exercise our neural pathways responsible for empathy and enthusiasm. Our first recitation is rather literal. We're going to set it to a triplet chant together. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hate and craving and clinging by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Consider, if you will, these 3 nouns. They are so integral to our journey on the path that they've earned the figurative nickname of the 3 wish-fulfilling jewels, kind of like Aladdin's lamp. Our second recitation of this ilk is going to be more concise and more figurative, and we're setting it this time to a bookend chant, which is our go-to chant, really, together. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. As children, our first bicycle most likely had training wheels, and although they were clunky, they got the job done. Similarly, this evening's first meditation is also ungainly. During our inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite perceiving this very turbulent play of mind, and during our exhalation, let's silently and mentally recite relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. If you were to chant this practice text every 12 hours, you would be reciting it more than 700 times a year, which would go a long way to mastering it. Together. Do unity, idle followers of the way, not studying, not busy, not getting rid of delusions, not looking for the truth. The true nature of their ignorance is the Buddha nature. Their illusory empty bodies is the Dharma body. So, here's a quick explanation. Our job is not to be neurotic and to indulge our controlling tendencies. There are 2 things: that which we perceive as we inhale, and that which we viscerally experience as we exhale. all things have the same taste of emptiness that we access during our exhalation. And that can provide us with a shortcut to enlightenment. Their Dharma body they realize doesn't not to include a thing. Their original nature is the primordial Buddha. The five skandhas are by clouds floating aimless in the sky. The three poisons are mere bubbles appearing then gone. We might note, so whatever emotion we notice during our in-breath, be it pleasurable or painful, as we relax into our exhalation, that exact same emotion could feel as non-graspable as the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless day. And that is what we mean by the phrase, vast, empty void. Seeing what is real but not persons or things, they instantly quench our fires of hell. Meanwhile, those who deceive others with lies spend kalpas having their tongues torn out. Well, that's gross. Welcome to a very... who wrote Hellraiser? Something... Clive Barker. Welcome to a very Clive Barker passage. So this is a reference to a myth that describes some of the torments of hell. And basically we're being taught this. When this text was written, the idea of a path to sudden enlightenment had become a radical teaching, which is horrible because the Buddha taught sudden enlightenment. The Buddha said you could do it in a week. That's wild. So this guy's saying, if you got teachers telling you that it takes horrible effort and a length of time greater than the length of time it takes the universe to evolve, maintain, de-evolve, and then wait to evolve again, guess what? Run away from that guy. To get instant understanding is the Tathagata meditation. Every practice and perfection is present in your body. This expansive existence look real in a dream. Once you're awake, the whole universe is gone. In the Iron Age, they used the phrase Buddha nature, or if you want to be fancy, Tathagata. Here in the Silicon Age, through the use of imaging machines, such as the functional magnetic resonance imaging machine, we can observe that we have parts of our brain that are devoted to noticing, and parts of our brain that are devoted to releasing, and parts of our brain that are devoted to empathy. I want to get fancy. That would be the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, and the anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of our mirror neurons, or I should say hub. We already have the equipment we need to become Buddhas. All we need to do is step out of our own way. No punishments or blessings, nothing lost or gained. As for the heart of Nirvana, do not ask for directions. Regarding that unpolished dust-covered mirror, it is time you took a closer look. So this is a controversial teaching. It refers to the Platform Sutra of the 6th Chan Patriarch. In his time, a person who was very fundamentalistic, a person who really felt it was a good idea to be rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, said that our perceptions are like dust gathering on the mirror of our mind, and we must polish that mirror. But he who would be the 6th Chan Patriarch said, ugh, there is no dust, there is no mirror, there is no one to polish. So that is what is being referred to right here. We don't have to believe in emptiness. We're already wired to experience perception and release, and they're both vitally important. Who has no thoughts, who is not born? What truly is not born is not born. Ask a mechanical man made of wood, how is that quest for Buddhahood coming? It is not our job to be as thoughtless as if we were a tailor's mannequin. Now let us remove the first of 2 metaphoric training wheels and reduce our contemplative exercise from 12 syllables per breath down to just 3. During our perceptive inhalation, let's silently and mentally recite notice this. And during our releasing exhalation, let's silently and mentally recite relaxing. Good news, my friends, we do not have to force ourselves to be empathetic. We are already wired to do that. The antithesis of our empathetic anterior cingulate gyrus is our frightened and aggressive amygdala at the basement of our brain. That is the thing which can dampen our empathy. Fortunately, regular practice of mindfulness and meditation can free us from the shackles of our fearful and aggressive amygdala and return us to the throne of compassion just behind our forehead. To my friends who were raised in Christianity, allow me to remind you that in first epistle of John, we read that God is love, which makes more sense and which illuminates the gospel statement. The kingdom of God is within. So when love rules on the throne of our will, that is the kingdom of God. When it has been usurped by fear and aggression, not so much with the kingdom of God. Let go your grip on the material world. In the heart of nirvana, eat and drink your fill. Practices are ephemeral. Everything is empty. This is the imperfect enlightenment of the Buddhas. Let's talk about pleasure. We don't need to flee them. We don't need to chase them. When they come, we can enjoy them from a place of awareness and release. I should say empathetic awareness and release. Speaking with conviction is a sign of a true monk. Those unable indulge in asking questions. Suffering roots is what marks a Buddha. Picking through leaves and twigs is not for me. Pseudo-spiritual trivia paves not the path of enlightenment. People do not notice the jewel among jewels, waiting for the mandate to go to God. Its sixfold power is neither empty nor not, its perfect light neither visible nor not. So this wish-fulfilling jewel is our Buddha nature, accessed through inhalations, perception, and exhalations, relaxation. Purify the 5 roots and acquire the 5 abilities. Only then will you know what cannot be measured. An image in a mirror is not hard to see, but try to grab the water in the moon. So try it again. But try to grab the moon in the water. This is a reference to non-graspability. We can perceive things as we breathe in, but as we relax into our exhalation, things feel less graspable. Setting out along, walking alone, those who arrive take the Nirvana road. Their appearance ancient, their manner detached, ragged and gaunt, they are not noticed. One of the great ironies about traversing the Buddha's path is that it can be profoundly peaceful and loving and blissful and beautiful. There's no guarantee of beauty, prestige, or profit. Disciples without means they are called poor in possessions but not in freedom. Being poor, of course, they wear him. Their practice is treasuring the jewel within. I tell you, man, I'll never forget the time when I was staying at a Theravada monastery, and some guy said, "You are a stupid monk. I have an expensive watch, therefore you are worthless." Wow. So, around the world, regardless of the culture you're raised in, there are lots of people who think that the only value comes from power and wealth. Let's remove the second of 2 metaphoric training wheels and reduce our contemplative exercises from 3 syllables down to just 1. During our perceptive inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. During our releasing exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the monosyllabic verb ease, which functions as a synonym of relax. This priceless jewel with inexhaustible uses, it never withholds its help or response. The 3 bodies and 4 insets are present within. The 8 freedoms and 6 powers all mark the mind. Remember, it's not our job to decode this. If you want to, you can check the notes. But basically, the idea is this. All the tools we need are accessed through perception, relaxation, and empathy's centered spontaneity. Gifted people grasp at all concerning the way at once. Lesser man's here but are not enthusiastic. Thinking about changing their clothes, they claim they are making progress. The foolish cling to superficialities, hoping that that will justify their ridiculous priorities. Let people mock and others speak ill of you. Let them tire themselves out trying to burn the sky. Hearing their words is like tasting sweet dew. I swallow and suddenly enter the inconceivable. There's no shortage of people who think it's foolish to follow the Buddha, and there's no shortage of Buddhists who think it's foolish to traverse the Buddha's path of sudden enlightenment. It's amazing how many people will deny us the benefit of the doubt and say cruel things to us, forgetting that that very cruelty is their own indictment. In hateful words I see a chance for merit. They have become my closest advisors. Not letting ridicule make enemies of friends. I show the power of accepting that nothing is born. No, so birthlessness, deathlessness, selflessness, and emptiness are all metaphors for the experience that to be had when we relax into our exhalation. Know the words and know the source. Do not ever focus on the emptiness of wisdom's light of perception and cessation. Some people emphasize mindfulness to the point of forbidding the use of the word emptiness. Some people focus on emptiness to the point of being incapable of cobbling together a cogent sentence. Just as a bird requires both wings to take to the skies, likewise me and you need both awareness and release. This is not something I alone have heard. Countless Buddhas have realized this too. The lion roars and speaks without fear. Lesser beasts hear and cower in fright. Wild elephants seize the rampaging waves. Sky dragons listen in silent rapture. What page is this? This is 65. My friends, now that we've become somewhat comfortable with the three meditations, the 12-syllable, the 3-syllable, and the 1-syllable meditation, and as such have reached cruising altitude. Together as a team, let us meditate as profoundly as Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo. I travel great rivers, cross mountains and streams, seeking teachers and masters to better understand meditation. Ever since taking the Cow River Road, I have discovered life and death have no hold on me. So, deathlessness, once again, is not something to have faith in, belief in, or disbelief. It's simply a metaphor for the experience of relaxing in harmony with our exhalation. Walking is meditation, sitting is meditation, speaking or silent, moving or still I am at peace. Even at knife point I remain unmoved, even poisons cannot affect me. Before my teacher, the Buddha Matipankara, he spent kalpas as Kshantidik ascetic. How many births, how many deaths, births and deaths go on without end. Since I suddenly realize that nothing is born, I treat fame and shame the same. So fame and shame are but one line of four, and they're a reference to the four failings of the world. Our hatred of scarcity, pain, scorn, anonymity, and our desire for good fortune, pleasure, love, and renown. These are wired into us. So a problem is not experiencing them. It's fine to perceive them as you breathe in. Remember to release and relax as you breathe out. I moved to a mountain and found a quiet place, steep and secluded beneath tall pines. And outside a monk I enjoyed sitting still, settled at last I am truly at peace. An outsider monk pretty much describes me. And it reminds me of that song about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They wouldn't let him play in all the reindeer games. And that was the case with the sixth patriarch. If that's the case for you, you are in good company. Hey, all the rabbis did not care for the Christ. All the majority of sadhus did not care for the Buddha. So the majority of monks try to murder the sixth Zen patriarch. You're in good company. And those who are awake do not engage in giving gifts. In a world of conditioned things, however, it is different. Giving alms for a good birth, one is still attached to form. You may as well shoot an arrow into the sky. Its momentum spent, an arrow falls to earth, resulting in another disappointing life. Unlike the door to the real and unconditioned, once you step through, you are in the Buddha realm. There are many so-called Roshis. Although they've learned the secret handshake and won the approval of their so-called superiors, they really can't teach their way out of a wet paper bag. And many of their students have great crises simply because they don't receive good instruction. A bad teacher will hide behind ritual and cryptic communication. A good teacher is open. Is open as a book, read during a picnic at high noon, keeping no secrets. Ignore the twigs and look for the root, the jewel of the moon in pure aquamarine. Once you grasp this wish of filling pearl, it's up to you when others never ends. Our job is not to indulge our controlling tendencies. Our job is not to hate our perceptions, emotion, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Our job is to notice whatever comes up, whether it is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. And as we exhale, to physically relax and mentally release. That's our job. Doing so grants us access to the highest love, which is spontaneous and uncontrived. When our choices and utterances and deeds flow from this centered spontaneity, our life is like a dream come true. Moon on the river and in the pines, why is the sky so clear all night? The part of the Buddha nature precepts marks the mind, mist and clouds shroud the body. My dragon subduing bow and my tiger calming staff, with his two rings echoing on the trail. It is not for pointing out the mundane, but for pointing out the tracks left by the Tathagata's precious staff. By noticing and releasing, we transcend the tyranny of our greed and our hate. Do not search for the truth and do not dismiss delusion. Realize both are empty and have no form. No form but neither empty nor not empty. That is the Tathagata's real form. In other words, we do not become attached to non-attachment. Nothing obstructs the mirror of the mind, illuminating a universe of countless realms, where millions of images appear, neither inside nor outside the perfect light. Saying everything is empty, they dismiss the laws of karma. Such recklessness is sure to bring misfortune. Renouncing existence for emptiness is the same as jumping into a fire to escape a flood. Whether you choose the right wing of perception or the left wing of relaxation, neither will allow a bird to fly. A bird needs both wings. We need both perception and release. Letting delusions go and grasping the truth. The letting go, grasping mind is a master of disguise. Students unaware who take this for the practice mistake a thief for their child. Reducing your dharma wealth or cancelling your merit invariably results from discriminations of the mind. That is why in meditation we set the mind aside. We use the power instead of accepting that nothing is born. So there's no need to reason, there's no use for logic, there's no need for belief. Whenever we breathe in, we are automatically wired to notice. Whenever we exhale, we are automatically wired to relax. All you and I need to do is get out of our own way. The great Bodhisattva holding the figurative sword of wisdom with his Prasha braid and Vajra flames. Testing? Okay. Not only did he cut through the mind of heretics, he first ended Mara's brazen ways. He shook his Dharma thunder and beat his Dharma drum. He spread clouds of compassion and showers of sweet dew. The trampling of elephants covered the world with moisture. Whatever the path or lineage, everyone woke up. Himalayan butter with nothing added, it alone produces my favorite ghee. The nature that pervades all natures, the dharma that includes all dharmas. A single moon is reflected in every drop of water, within every water drop is held a single moon. Every Buddha's Dharma body is my nature is one with every Tathagata. At every stage all sages were present, but not in formal mind and not in what you do. Snap your fingers and countless Dharma doors appear. 3 kalpas go by in an instant. As for all statements, make no statements. That means nothing to this enlightened nature of mine. It cannot be slandered and it cannot be praised. Like space, it has no boundaries. It is never not present and always clear, but look and you cannot see it. You cannot grab it and you cannot let it go. When you cannot find it, that is when you will find it. It speaks when it is silent when it speaks. When the gate of gifts opens, nothing stands in its way. People ask what is the source of my understanding. I tell them the power of great wisdom. If it is right or wrong, nobody knows. If it makes sense or not, the gods cannot tell. I have been practicing this for kalpas, and not just to make people confused. So this is a reference to the, according to some translations, the 39th chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra, the aspirations of Samantabhaddha Bodhisattva. Like the Dharma flag announcing the school's doctrine, clearly the Buddha's teachings is at Cao Shi. Kashyapa was supposed to transmit the Lamb, the first of 28 generations in the West. The Dharma traveled east and reached this land. Bodhidharma was our first patriarch. The first of 6 who wear the robe and spread the word. Those who understood later were countless. Clarity is a metaphor for perception. Emptiness is a metaphor of release. We do not define the truth, delusions are already empty. We define what is and what is not. We do not empty emptiness. It's 20 different kinds of no concern of us. We share the universal Tathagata nature. So, if someone wanted to, as they breathe in, they could silently and mentally recite, "What is?" And if they wanted to, as they exhaled, they could silently and mentally recite, "Is not." The mind is a sense organs and objects are its sensations. Think of them as streaks on a mirror, and light finally shining when the streaks are gone. Forget the mind and objects, it is your nature that is real. In an evil age, the Dharma is ending. People are not happy and lack self-control. Ignoring the sage shape of a mistaken views, more becomes stronger and their hatred multiplies. Hearing about the Buddha's sudden teaching, they wish they could write it into rubble. It's the weirdest thing. Regardless of religion, regardless of culture, there are some people who just want to be told they're going to hell. And they normally fear being told they're going to heaven. They hate those who believe that. What needlessly arduous path a monk creates, the body suffers or injures. No need to claim injustice or shift the blame. If you are hoping to avoid karma's endless fires, do not criticize the Tathagata's true teaching. Let's put this in the context. This is not saying you get what you deserve, and it's not about victim blaming. It's talking about meditation. If you select a path that doesn't work for you, then find a different path. If you persist with a path that doesn't work, that's like sticking your hand in the fire and complaining. Pull your hand out of the damn fire. In a forest of nothing but sandalwood trees, where it is lush and remote lions dwell. In the Sylvian wooded quiet they roam where they will. Other beasts even birds keep that distance. Lion cubs all trail behind. By the time they are three, they can roar. Foxes who follow the Dharma king. After lifetimes of mischief, they can only yap. Some people only require a 3-year retreat to become fully ready to teach. Other people require more. Some people will never be ready to teach. Some people have just missed the boat. I like the idea that there's hope for everybody, but some people just forsake the path of being flexible, loving, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. If you've just joined me, welcome aboard. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. The sudden teaching is free of sentimentality, as long as doubts remain, arguments follow. This mountain monk is not just banging his drum, he cares who might fall into the nothing or forever trap. No or not, no, yes or not, yes. To miss by an inch is the same as 1,000 miles. Yes, and a dragon maiden suddenly became a Buddha. No one Sunakshatra fell into hell alive. Well, I tell you, this is a tough syllable for me to pronounce. I learned a lot when I was young. I read sutras and shastras and studied commentaries. The names and terms never seemed to end. Like counting sand in the sea, it was a waste of effort. Scolded by the Tathagata, what good is counting others' treasures? I realized all my efforts had been in vain, all the years I had wasted raving dust and wind. Misguided from the start, my understanding wrong. I did not know how the Buddha's certain teaching worked. Why devotees are blessed or past did not see the way. Why unbelievers may be clever but not wise. They are so foolish, so stupid, pointing to the palm to explain what is real. Mistaking a finger for the moon, turning objects of the senses into ghost stories. So this is worth explaining. Mistaking a finger for the moon is basically a fun way of saying not recognizing a figure of speech as a figure of speech, but thinking a figure of speech is a literal statement. Turning objects of the senses into ghost stories is being so obsessed about release that we forget to perceive. Who does not see a thing as a Tathagata, hence the name looking from on high. Those who understand are free of karmic burdens, those who do not still have all debts to pay. A hunger that keeps one from enjoying even a royal meal, a sickness even a great physician cannot cure. Remember, the solution is simple. We are already wired to perceive as we breathe in. We are already wired to relax as we breathe out. All we have to do is step out of our own way. Perhaps that is why we sit in meditation. To meditate despite desire is the power of prajna, and why a lotus is not burned in the fire. Yongshi committed crimes and realized nothing is born. He became a Buddha and is still one today. When the lion roars his fearless teaching, it pities confused, obstinate fools. Who only see offenses that prevent Buddhahood, blind to the secret that Tathagata revealed. I kid you not. In every religion, there are those who just, in every time humans get together, whether it's spiritual or secular or political or athletic or recreational, there are always going to be trolls, gatekeepers, people with big pencils and small shivanses. Two monks were guilty of crime, so Jashupali with his firefly light. Layman Vimalakirti dismissed her task as the sun melts the snow. Haha. Okay, hello, Jim. Good to see you. I can't understand what you're writing, however. Can you please elaborate for me? Inconceivable is the power of liberation. Its uses as countless as the conscious sands. Who would not give every possible offering, such as 10,000 ounces of gold? But even one's flesh and blood would fall short. The unsurpassed of all dogmas, realized by more Buddhism that Ganges has grains of sand. This wish-fulfilling jewel I have revealed. May all who accept it do the same. This verse and the one before it are taking a metaphoric brick and throwing it through the plate glass window of elitism. Every healthy vertebrate life form on this planet is wired to perceive as we breathe in and wired to relax as we breathe out. We are all capable of practicing this and mastering this and helping others do likewise. Look around, there is not a thing. There are no people, there are no Buddhas. All the worlds in the universe are like bubbles in the sea. All the sages and worthies are as fleeting as lightning. Even if an iron wheel rolled across my skull, meditation wisdom's light would still shine. Though the sun turn cold and the moon turn warm, not even an army of demons can destroy the truth. When an elephant pulls a cart up a mountain, has anyone seen a mountain block its way? Elephants do not follow rabbit trails. Enlightenment is not confined by minor rules. Do not vilify the sky when you are looking at it through a reed. If you still do not understand, this is for you. Let us seal or practice with a bit of the old loving kindness. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness are spontaneous and uncontrived. May everyone be free from misery, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. And if you are, oopsie, wrong button, let's try this again. I look forward to returning in approximately, gosh, what is it? 10 3/4 hours to lead tomorrow evening's, tomorrow's morning, let's try this again. Tomorrow's early meditation class and group practice. Woof! And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.